All right, there we go. Woo! Lovely, lovely. Everybody's on. Let's just send a few more messages for everybody to get on the Fitma show. We're kicking this thing off now. We are live. We are live, and I am super excited. Let me just check here. Just doing a quick check-in. All right, we got one on now, guys. Wherever you're signing from, let me know. I want to give you guys a shout out in the chat. I want to give you guys a shout out in the chat before we kick this thing off. It is your coach Jason here. Gonna be kicking this thing off real soon. And let's see who we got here. Nice, nice. So tonight we got a pretty interesting topic for you guys. Sleepless nights, deadly consequences. Woo! Yes, sir. Here we go. Here we go. Nice, nice. So just make sure everything is set there. Yep, we are all set. We are good to go. So let's bring the music down as we jump into this thing. And let me just switch over to this channel here so that you guys can actually see us. Sleepless nights, deadly consequences. That is our topic for tonight. And you guys are certainly going to enjoy it. Let me just put something in the chat there. Welcome everyone. Lovely, lovely. Here we go, here we go, here we go. We're going to be kicking this thing off now. Sleepless nights, deadly consequences. Now, if this is your first time here, welcome to the Fitma show. And I am super excited to have you all here because these topics are what we need for this time. There's so much going on in terms of fitness, health, and the likes, and we are diving into these topics one by one, and this is an opportunity for us to also reach a lot more people with these topics. As you know, there are so much things going on in the world right now, and we really have to ensure that we take proper care of our health, because that is all we really have. Our health is all we really have right now. When all is taken away from us, and we've seen a lot of things being taken away, all we're going to be left with is our health. So let us not give up. Let us not lose. First time joining me, my name is Coach Jason, and I am a weight management coach. I work specifically with busy mothers and wives over the age of 40. And in this episode, we're going to be looking at sleepless nights, deadly consequences. Now, before we actually jump in, we are looking to hit the 1,000 subscriber mark on YouTube. So do us a big favor. That's all we're going to ask of you. Head on over to YouTube if you're not there already and hit that subscribe button so that can help us to grow, reach more influential people, and bring those lessons back to you. With that being said, we got a pretty cool lineup for you tonight. Also do one more thing for me before we jump on. And what I want you ladies to do for me is to share this with somebody who you care about. Who is one person you care about? You want them to improve their health. Go ahead and share this broadcast with them. So here's a lineup for you guys tonight. We're going to be looking at something we call the weight management triangle. I'm going to show you guys exactly how sleep goes into it. I'm also going to show you guys some of the benefits of improving this sleep, and more importantly, some of the dangers when you do not get this sleep, and how those things can actually reduce not only your ability to lose weight, but actually shorten your life. And then we're going to wrap it up with some things that can actually improve, both natural remedies that we have here in the Caribbean, and also some herbal remedies that you guys can use to make sure and get the most out of it. So with that being said, and without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this presentation of a sleepless nights, deadly consequences, so that you all can get what you came here for. So, why do we need to sleep? Well, let me start off by explaining it to you like this. We teach here at Fitma something called the weight management triangle. Now, the weight management triangle, and this is not the Illuminati triangle, right? This is just the weight management triangle. This is the core of what we do here in Fitma. And there are really three core parts to this triangle. Now, at the base is nutrition. On the left side is movement slash exercise, and on the right side is rest. Now, here's the thing. If any one or more of these are missing, then you are going to experience a negative change in your weight. Also, if you find it very difficult to lose weight, then it could be that either one or more of these things are missing. Nutrition, movement, and rest. Now tonight we're going to be zooming in on rest. A nice way to look at it is, let us use something, a device that we all are familiar with, and that is our smartphones. Now most of us do have a smartphone, and our smartphone operates on the principle of recharging. So let's say for once you took your smartphone, you worked it all day, and you did not recharge it. You did the same thing the day after. Now depending on which model you have, that phone is eventually going to die within a day or a day and a half, right? Now when that phone dies, there is nothing else. You can't get access to your Snapchat, your WhatsApp, and all of these different things. However, by making a simple, or just investing a short time in plugging in the charger and giving it a few minutes to an hour, a few hours to recharge, this phone's battery is going to be regenerated and you're going to be able to continue the cycle. So it's a cycle of use or a cycle of discharge and recharge. Discharge and recharge. Now, that is the exact same thing that happens with your body, or with our bodies. We need these from your phone, right? So if you decide, hey, instead of charging for the required time of 2 hours, I'm just going to recharge it for the required time of 2 hours, I'm just going to recharge it from your phone. Now, that story sets the precedence for what we have here tonight. Your body is like that phone. And just like that phone, if you cut short the required recharge time, you are going to find yourself entering into some different issues, right? Now, what is the required time? Ideally, we want to be resting for 7 to 8 hours. 7 to 8 hours is what we're looking for when we are trying to get our sleep. Now, let me read some case studies for you. And these case studies will show you some of the dangers of shortening those sleep patterns. Now, this one was from Dr. Spiegel of the University of Chicago. Dr. Spiegel from the University of Chicago. And what he found is that healthy young men had a 40% lower sugar uptake by their tissues when they got only 4 hours of sleep for 6 consecutive nights. Now, so what Dr. Spiegel did, Dr. Spiegel took some young men, right? And he reduced their night rest to only 4 hours. And he did that for just under a week. He did for six consecutive nights. And at the end of that experiment, this is what he found, and you will see the significance of it. They had a 40% lower blood sugar intake. That's number one. They had a 30% reduced effect of pancreas releasing insulin. So their body released 30% less insulin than normal. On top of that, the ability of the blood sugar to enter the cells without insulin dropped by 30%. Now here is the shocking part. These results are also what we see in persons who have type 2 diabetes. In fact, as they write here, sleep deprivation left healthy young men with an ability to handle blood sugar comparable to that of an elderly person with a mild form of diabetes. So Dr. Spiegel and his team took some young men, reduced their rest they reduced their rest to 4 hours, and just did this for 6 days. Not 6 weeks, but just 6 days. It signals the body to store energy. Whenever insulin is released in the blood, it signals the body to store energy. Now, what does that mean? When you're trying to lose weight, you are actually trying to use up your stores. So, fat is in essence stored energy. So, when you're trying to lose weight, you're actually trying to use up these stores. However, if your body is actually signaling to store more fat, then what is going to happen? Instead of you actually using up, you will be adding to that already surplus or that already large storage. That is what happens with persons who has diabetes, right? That happens with persons who has diabetes, especially when they're using insulin. But as you realize from the story, these guys did not have diabetes. All they did was reduce their rest for 6 days to just 4 hours. Now the question we need to ask ourselves, how many hours of sleep are we getting per night? How many hours of rest are we getting per night? And as we dive into this podcast, I'm going to give you guys some suggestions as to one, ideally how much you should get, and then secondly, how to optimize those rest periods, right? So stick with me. Again, if you just join us, welcome as we begin to build this thing. Now, apart from having proper blood sugar response, insulin response, proper rest also helps with your hunger. And if you notice, I'm going to be putting all of the weight loss issues up front because primarily it is normally weight loss. They want help losing weight. So I'm going to put all of these up front. So apart from your body not utilizing fat when you deprive your sleep, there's a next part of it that actually interferes with your desire to lose weight. And that other part is hunger. So there are two hormones in the body, leptin and ghrelin. Let's just call it the hunger hormone. The hormone that tells your body when it's hungry, this one goes up. And then there's the next hormone that tells your body when it is filled. When you are sleeping properly, these hormones are in balance, which is awesome. So when you eat your food, you get a signal, okay, I'm full now, you can stop eating. And then that lasts for a while, next signal comes in, okay, I'm hungry, right? And that is perfect. It's the ultimate setup and the ultimate equilibrium system, homeostasis system in your body, right? Now, when you deprive or you reduce your rest, here is what happens. These hormones go out of balance. And as we would wish they go out of balance in a good way, they actually go out of balance in a bad way. So what happens? When you reduce your sleep, the hormone that signals you to stop eating, or the full hormone, the hormone that says I'm filled, that one actually goes down. The hormone that signals that I am hungry, that one actually goes up. So the balance is more like this. Now what does that feel like? During the day, you will find yourself always hungry but never filled. Now if you are familiar with weight loss, for you to lose weight at a basic level, we need to be taking in less energy than we expel, basic level. But if you are having signals that are telling you, I am hungry, so you're eating, and as you eat, there is not this signal coming up to say that I am filled, you are going to find yourself always eating, never full, calories going up, and the weight always as well follows in that upward trend. On top of that, instead of the food being utilized or burned for energy, that food is being stored because in addition to these hormones being out of balance, we are having high insulin levels, which is also a storage hormone. So it is really a deadly setup, this this sleep deprivation. And what we saw here in this experiment was just 6 days. Now the question you need to ask yourself, One, how is your rest? And number two, how long has your rest been like that? So, if these scientists got this response in just 6 days, imagine if you have been lacking sleep for 1 month, 2 months, or even 5 to 10 years. Imagine what is going on inside of your body. And when this thing continues over and over, you then get to the point where you hear the doctor saying that, hey, do you know that you are type 2 diabetic? And then you wonder to yourself, but how come I'm not, how come I am a type 2 diabetic? I don't eat sweet foods, I don't eat sugar, I exercise, I try to eat healthy. How come I am a type 2 diabetic? Go back to the weight management triangle. Nutrition, movement, rest. It means either one or two of these are missing, and as a result, from what we saw here, rest could be the culprit. So I'm going to now give you guys some other things, and I'm going to keep this one very specific too, right? For those of you who are doing online schooling, and we report repeatedly shown that if you get sufficient sleep, your memory, specifically your long-term memory, actually improves. So your ability to perform improves. And as a pilot, we have tested this, we have seen all of the studies where we did our training. A lot of the accidents, all of the air accidents and air disasters can be linked to sleep deprivation in the crew or crews involved. So sleep deprivation affects your motor response, your ability to respond. It affects your ability, your performance, and these, after being built up for a while, could cause some more serious issues. Now for my ladies, especially my ladies over 40, naturally, your hormones are going to go out of balance. But when you add a sleep deprivation to it, your hormones are going to go more out of balance. And you're going to find that if you don't take corrective action, that menopause could be a very tough time for you. Now I know ladies who have gone through menopause and it was just like any other day, a day in the park. But however, if you look at these ladies, they had good sleep patterns, they had good eating patterns, good exercising patterns. So if you want your menopause experience to be somewhat bearable by just paying attention to your sleep, you can also find that this happens. For my males, if you find again you are feeling irritable or your libido, this sort of stuff is low, it could also be that you are sleep deprived. And what sleep does is bring all of these things back into balance. Now, we are aware that there are things that can upset your sleep, and let's dive into some of those. So for example, if you have a newborn baby, your sleep is going to be obviously upset, because you have to wake up every 2 to 3 hours to feed the baby, and then there's not much you can do there. So there are periods in which your sleep will be upset because of certain situations, right? And we understand that. Like motherhood, there is no alternative to not feeding the baby. You just can't tell the baby, okay, wait until morning. That's not going to work. So in a case like that, that is an acceptable tolerance, right? Now there are also situations of environment. So you may live in an environment that is noisy, you're close to the road, vehicles are always passing, there's music, there's all of these different distractions, and these are things that could affect your sleep. Your job, you could be working a night shift. For example, some of our nurses, they check in for work at 7 p.m., finish at 7 a.m. They are working through the night. And in a subsequent lecture, I will give you guys some suggestions for counteracting this, right? And all of these, also different health issues. So the health issues can trigger your sleep and throw it off as well. And that could cause like insomnia, etc. So one of the first things that we need to find out is if we are not getting enough sleep. Well, the first thing we need to find is how much sleep we're getting, right? The ideal number is about 7 to 8 hours. Now, if it's a case where we're not getting enough sleep, then what is causing us to be sleep deprived? And if we could find that out, then we can now start working on that cause. And again, if it is something like pregnancy or your work, like a nurse, for the pregnancy, there's not much you can do, you just gotta wait it out. And in a case like that, I would probably suggest more of some adaptogenic herbs just to help your body deal with that. In terms of work, you got two options. If it is a case where you have the flexibility of choosing your shifts, maybe you may opt for that option. If not, then again, on a subsequent podcast, we're gonna look at that. But the other issues, there are some remedies and some techniques that you can do. Now, number one, and this is one I've found work very good for my fit miles, and that is exercise. Now, I've had fit miles say, Jason, I can't sleep when I come rolling and toiling and going in my bed, and I'm not sleeping. However, when they started the fit mile coaching program, and one of those core tenets was exercise, we have exercises mandatory 3 times per week, their sleep improved just from exercising. So just exercising alone can improve your sleep. Of course, you guys know right on this Fit My YouTube channel, we have a bunch of workouts. You can do any of those or whatever you fancy. Aim for about 3 times per week, alternating days if you want to start with that Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. You can roll like that. And that would actually help improve your sleep. Now, next one you can do is now the kids are in bed, everybody is out of your way. Watch your mouth. You can repeat that for like 10 times to also improve your sleep. Right? Heavier meal before bed. So when we eat too heavy a meal before bed, our body is now working. When it should be preparing to go to rest, it is still working overtime. So we are going to sleep, and the body's activities, which would have been cleaning, removing cellular waste, repairing the brain, repairing damaged tissues, has to be suspended while it works on digesting the heavy food. And if you add more fuel to fire by taking in heavy meals, like eating a steak before bed, you're eating fats, which is like one of the worst things to eat before bed, because what fats does, fat slows the digestion of food through the digestive system. So if you eat fatty foods early in the day, but not at night. And if you eat more processed foods, then that again adds insult to injury. So you're eating high processed foods, you are raising your insulin levels, you're raising your blood sugar levels, which will bring your insulin levels up, which, because you are eating so much, going to bring your sleep pattern down, which will also raise your insulin levels up again. So you're having a vicious cycle. So my recommendation is try and keep your nighttime meals, number one, 3 hours before bedtime, and we'll discuss when there's a proper bedtime. So 3 hours before bedtime, you should eat your last meal, right? 3 hours before bedtime, you should eat your last meal. That way, it gives your stomach enough time to digest it before bed. And more importantly, that last meal should be one of easy digestion. So we normally recommend fruits. Fruits is a nice, easy digestible meal before bed, and that will break down easy. Also, easy grains. You know, eat different grains. You can eat something nice and easy, like a small bowl of cornmeal porridge. Not too much sugar and milk, but you know, keep it there. The granolas, that is also a good one, especially if you find one of those natural granolas, not the one that is artificially enhanced. And so those sort of stuff. Papaya, that's a good one for dinner as well. And these sort of foods, these are ideal. And again, you want to keep it to small portions. Now, the ideal time to eat is anytime before 7 p.m. Right? If you're trying to lose weight, and this is a trick of the trade, if you're trying to lose weight, you want to eat all your meals before 6 p.m. Right? That would just speed the process up. And if you really want to go extreme, then eat all your meals before 3 p.m. But that's more on the extreme level, so I wouldn't recommend that for no beginner. But make sure that last meal is one, small, and number two, it is 3 hours before bed, ideally before 7 p.m. But that brings me to the next point. When is the best time to go to sleep? 10 p.m. is a good time to be sleeping. Now, every hour of sleep before 12 p.m., your body treats like 2. Let me say that again. Every hour of sleep before 12 a.m., before 12 a.m., your body treats as 2. So that is why if you find you go to sleep like 7 o'clock in the night or 8 o'clock in the night, you're going to be waking up 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, feeling full of energy and can't go back to sleep because your body treats it like 2. So if you went to sleep 7 o'clock, that is 5 hours, but if you double that, that is actually 10 hours. So your body will rest like you rested for 10 hours, which is why you feel full of energy. If you go to sleep after 12, then it's just 1 for 1, right? And so you want to aim to go to bed by 10 p.m. Now, for you to go to bed by 10 p.m., you can't be going in your bed at 10 p.m. You have to be in your bed by 9:30, 9:45 and just winding down. Now, there are some bedtime routines, and again, I won't take up too much of time with those, but this one, big distraction. This is the last thing you want to be watching before you go to sleep. One, it has blue light, which sends a signal to your eyes that daytime is here. And in essence, it will not induce sleep. Now let me show you how it should work. And the Lord set it up this way. When the evening comes, the place gets dark. When the place gets dark, there's a signal that is sent through your eyes to the pineal gland to release melatonin. Now melatonin is a sleep hormone. So let's break this down. Place get dark, the body releases something that says, okay guys, time to get sleepy, time to go to sleep. However, because of commercial advancement and industrialization, we are now able to create our own lights. So we have electricity around the clock. So we have all of these lights that we have here, and I'm using right now to speak with you. And these lights create an artificial lighted environment. In the olden days, our foreparents had candles. So the candles would only burn so much and those lights are dim. But we have all of these artificial lights, and these create a daytime effect, right? So that signal to start sleeping, or that message to start sleeping, does not get sent to us. When we lie down on our bed with our phones on and that white light is in front of our face, then that signal gets further disturbed. So now you're having this white light glaring in front of your eyes like this. That signal to say go to sleep is still being depressed, and you are still not able to go into that sleep mood. So what I recommend is by 9:30 or so, lie in your bed. Get a book. A book is a great way to start getting yourself ready for sleep. And reading, a good way to start winding down. And next thing you could do, just lie in your bed, or if you want to go in a quiet place, just start winding down. Just start emptying your mind, deep breathing. Doing the same deep breathing exercise, you can do it on your bed. Doing a deep breathing exercise in through your nose, out through your mouth. Do it about 10 times, 20 times, as much as you want. And that is going to start winding your body down. Ensure the lights are off, keep the room dark, so that that signal for your body to go to sleep can be released and your sleep mode can be activated. Alright? If you have to work with your computer at night before bed, I suggest using one of those blue light filters. Most computers have that built in, so you can just turn it on and it dampens that blue light from coming in. Alright? So that's a sleep technique that you can use. Now, we come into the end. I'm going to wrap this thing up. So we look at some of the things that you can do. One is deep breathing. Number 2 is exercising. Number 3 is eating a proper meal, a light meal. You turn off your lights, maybe read yourself to sleep, whatever is needed. Now, if all of those still do not work, in terms of remedies that are specific to sleeping, here are some that you could actually use. Valerian root. And next one, this is one I use a lot myself and I send to my clients, especially my ladies. Ashwagandha. Now, ashwagandha is a twofold effect. Ashwagandha helps to release or reduce the stress response. It's an adaptogenic. You definitely want to add. And then it also helps you. That's definitely one you want to add to your arsenal. And then for more of our local herbs now, let it sit for about 20 to 40 minutes. Let it have a nice draw. And then you can strain that one and drink it. And that really helps with your sleep. And then the next one is rosemary. Again, the same pattern. Just about a few leaves of, well, not leaf, like about it, but let's call it about a 3 to 6 in stalk. Put it in some water, cover it, boil that, allow it to sit for 20 to 40 minutes, and then you can strain it off and drink. And these are some herbs that we have here. Most of you probably have it in your backyard, or your neighbor have it, and you can actually use these to improve your sleep. So, remember, get 7 to 8 hours. Let us use the exercises, deep breathing, use these herbs. And this is in essence going to help to improve your sleep. When your sleep is improved, you're going to find that your energy level is better, your hormones will be more balanced, your fat loss will be a lot easier, and your body will be repairing, rebuilding. Your recovery from exercise will also be better. Your brain, memory, hunger, all of that will resolve itself. But when you don't sleep, you are setting yourself up for a lifetime of diseases and may even contribute to an early grave. So just like you take your phone at the end of the day and recharge it sufficiently, I want you now to start recharging your body sufficiently, 7 to 8 hours. You can WhatsApp us via the numbers below this video, or it's 784-491-8076. We can help you guys with some techniques. If you're in Kingston, you can come into our office, which is located in the Baines building. That's the blue building after Bank of St. Vincent, opposite the old public library. We're on the middle floor. We can talk with you there. You can also speak with the Ayatpa bookstore. We can also come on there and speak with you. So these are some of the remedies I'll recommend for you, ladies and gentlemen, to get your sleep back on track. And don't do no giant crazy steps. Take your time, baby steps at a time. Maybe tonight you're accustomed to going to bed 10 o'clock. Tomorrow you'll try 9:45. You do that for a while, then you try 9:30 and work your way in there. And then as you continue to build, then you keep improving. So maybe you're now going to sleep 12 o'clock. Maybe you'll try 11:30, then bring it back to 11 until you get right back down to 9:30. So don't do nothing too aggressive, because I would much prefer that you do a small step for a longer period of time than a massive step for a short period of time. Because what we are looking for is a lifestyle change that would in effect improve your health and give you a longer, better life to experience with your loved ones. So thank you guys so much for being here for episode number 2 of the FitMash Show. And Sleepless Nights, Deadly Consequences. Coach Jason here signing out. We are here every Sunday at 7:30. I'll be right here. Remember, if you are new to us, we help busy mothers and wives to create their dream bodies right from home. We work specifically with mothers over 40. Alright, if you're under 40, we still work with you. This channel is for everyone, right? So definitely utilize this resource, share it with your other busy moms and busy wives, so that they too can come into this ecosystem and learn more of these topics to improve their health. Also, we are trying to grow our YouTube channel. We're trying to hit that 1,000 subscriber mark. So if you have not already, please hit that subscribe button. That's the only thing I'm going to ask from you. It really helps us to grow, and that way we can grow the channel, reach more influential people, and bring those lessons back to you. Coach Jason signing out. Have yourselves all an awesome night.